Good morning, YouTube. I am going to get Instagram set up here shortly. Good morning, PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Ellison Melrose. I am a TA with the pregnancy and postpartum edition of Clinical Management as a Fitness Athlete. I am coming live to you today to talk to you about the pelvic floor's role in orgasm. But before we get into that, what I want to talk about is some of the upcoming courses for pregnancy and postpartum. Our next live course, which we have been traveling this spring doing, is May 21st and 22nd. That's going to be up in Bellingham, Washington. And our next 8-week online course starts July 5th. So if you guys are interested in taking any of those courses, go ahead and hop on over to ptonice.com and have a look at those. All right, so let's dive into pelvic floor function and sexual function. So the pelvic floor, as we've gone over in the past, has 5 main functions. It acts in venous and lymphatic drainage. It acts as support for our internal organs. It stabilizes and assists in force transfer from the lower extremity up to the upper extremity. It acts as sphincters for all of the openings that we have. And then it also plays a role in sexual function. And that's what we're going to dive into a little bit more today. So we have 2 different layers of our pelvic floor. We have our superficial and our deep layer. The deeper layer primarily is responsible for some more of that support, lymphatic drainage, and force transfer. The superficial layer is responsible for some more of the sexual function. So we have 3 different muscles primarily there. Our ischiocavernosus muscle, which I'm going to show you on my pelvic model, where those lie. Okay, so we have a female pelvis here. I'm just flipping it over. Ischiocavernosus muscle is going to lie right on the inside of the ischiopubic rami here on both sides. Its job is to pump blood to the clitoris. So that's going to facilitate clitoral stimulation. Bulbospongiosus is another muscle in this layer that surrounds the vaginal opening. So it kind of lies on either side of the vaginal opening. It lives on top of 2 different glands that secrete lubrication to prevent vaginal dryness during intercourse. So contraction of that muscle can help facilitate vaginal lubrication and can assist with that. Orgasm is an involuntary rhythmic contraction of the pelvic floor musculature and a smooth muscle, including the uterus and anus. So all of these muscles, the deep muscles and the superficial layer muscles of the pelvic floor, are going to rhythmically contract during orgasm. There's contradictory evidence that support pelvic floor muscle training in its ability to improve orgasm. But there hasn't been a ton of research in this area at all, as you can probably make sense. So studies dating back to 1952 demonstrated that weakness in the pelvic floor muscles could contribute to difficulty maintaining an orgasm. And women that did not achieve orgasm had decreased pubococcygeus muscle muscle strength compared to those that did achieve orgasm. So is that causation or correlation? It's hard to tell. It's hard to know. Conversely, about 30 years later, a small group was studied, and it showed that only 30% of women in that cohort were able to orgasm. So first of all, that's such a small amount of women. And that strength gains in the pubococcygeus muscle did not, or were noted in the exercise group, those that were training the pelvic floor, but neither group had a significant difference in ability to achieve orgasm. So they didn't find that pelvic floor muscle strength training led to increased orgasm. A more recent study done in 2015 described that the stronger the pelvic floor it was associated with higher rates of sexual activity, so meaning that they were more sexually active, as well as improved sexual function scores, so self-rating scores of their outcome of sexual function. They had higher scores in that. So stronger pelvic floor and higher sexual satisfaction. In 2021, so our most recent review that was in the Journal of Clinical Urology found that, first of all, sexual activity and orgasm both decreased after the age of 51. So if we can kind of think about what happens around this time in our lives, is around menopause. So the change in hormone levels there could be associated with that decrease in sexual activity and also decreased orgasm. What they think of the pelvic floor muscle contraction, or the duration of that contraction, was significantly higher in the stay sexually active, and the muscle strength was also associated with those who were able to achieve orgasm during sexual intercourse. So again, can we determine if increased muscle strength of the pelvic floor leads to increased sexual pleasure or increased orgasm? I'm not sure. We can definitely say that there's a correlation between increased pelvic floor muscle strength and the sexual activity and the likelihood of orgasm. There is a correlation. Can we assume that if we don't use it, we lose it, just like any other body part we have? If we're not using the pelvic floor muscles, we probably will have decreased ability to achieve an orgasm because the pelvic floor is rhythmically contracting during orgasm. So overall, our pelvic floor has many roles in sexual function. The ability of our pelvic floor muscles to relax prevents pain with penetration. A stronger and improved mobility of our ischiocavernosus muscle can increase clitoral stimulation. It has the potential to increase clitoral stimulation by increasing the blood flow to the clitoris. The stronger bulbospongiosus muscle has the potential to increase vaginal lubrication and the stronger the pelvic floor muscle, the intensity of the orgasm. So how we can help facilitate this with our clients as pelvic floor PTs is education. So we can educate our clients about the role that pelvic floor has in sexual function. We can destigmatize the conversation around sexual function and pleasure, and we can improve our patients' awareness of the pelvic floor, improve their ability to relax and contract the pelvic floor muscles, and overall just help educate those about its role. So while there is contradictory evidence to support that pelvic floor muscle strengthening can improve your orgasm, I believe that there's not anywhere, and especially in our pelvic floor. So take that today and think about it over the next couple hours. And that's where I'll kind of end my chat today about pelvic floor and orgasm. So if you guys have any questions about anything, comment down below. And if not, I will see you next time.